Well, hello and welcome to Wouldn't Watch It On Need, and in this video we are going to change the battery, or at least try to change the battery on this beautiful Casio G-Shock model DW-5750E.
Hello dear viewer of this video, this is your friend Casio DW-5750, or as Mama Casio likes to call me, DW-5750E. I just want to ask you kindly to be patient with the inept maker of this video. He thinks he knows how to shoot a video, but 90% of this video is out of focus. Nonetheless, I think that he did provide some at least understandable information on how to change the battery on me or one of my siblings. So once again, be patient with him, and now please continue watching. And don't tell him that I told you that he is an inane, inept video maker.
So I have my battery, which is the correct one. In my case, I bought the brand Panasonic CR 2016. I guess that you can buy any brand with this code. I have the battery here, as you can see. I will try to touch it as little as I can with my fingers because I don't want it to get dirty, and I don't want to touch it too much with metal tweezers because I've heard that this can drain the battery. I'm not sure about that, but still, to keep on the safe side. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remember the position in which I put my watch, which is this one with the buckle facing the middle of my silicone mat here, so that when I unscrew the back and when I take the plastic cover of the module off, I know how to put it back in the correct way. The tools needed, I am going to use tweezers in order to perform the reset after the battery is replaced, and I'm going to use a small Phillips screwdriver. This way I can read the writings like G-Shock resist the correct way, so I know that the back of the watch has to be put this way, and I will try not to move the watch too much so everything remains in its original position. I have some silicone grease at hand, but I don't wish to use it too much. So take your time when you're doing this, especially if it's the first time you're opening your G-Shock or Casio watch in general. The screws might be a bit, stuck.
One screw, and I'll put it here. Oh yeah, in case you were wondering, you have seen that this watch apparently has a good battery, but I can tell you that it's starting to die out because sometimes I find that the display is completely faded. There's no time display on it. Then I press the light button and magically the time comes back on, but I think it's time to change the battery.
This technique of unscrewing the screws one by one might not be the most correct one. I take the back of the watch. Take your time in doing this job. Consider it like a kind of meditation. Don't get nervous. Here's the back of the watch. I'll put it here. Okay, now you have to be very careful because there's a spring here and you don't want it to jump off. Look what this is, a beautiful, I don't know if it's silicone back of the watch. So this little spring, beware, you don't want it to jump off. Now, do not peel off this white cover of the battery as it has instructions on it. So as you can see, there's this spring sticking out. You don't want it to jump off. Otherwise, you're gonna have to look for it in the room, and it's very tiny. I have to figure out the right way to take off the cap of the battery here and allow you to see it on camera. So the hinge seems to be here. So to remove the actual battery, you're gonna need some other tool, maybe this pin or something pointy and small. And I don't know if you can see it. You have to put it here and put it inside here in this hole and push with the pin in that direction without forcing it. It's kind of hard to do this on camera. Yeah, I'm trying hard to allow you to see everything on camera. Maybe the other end of the tip is good. So actually I'm going to use this tool here, which is maybe slimmer, and I am going to try to... No, even that tool didn't work for the job, and so I had to resort to the wife's toolbox, and grab a pin. Okay. Okay, I don't think you've seen, you were able to see anything on camera, but let me show you how it works now. So you have to insert the pin, in this case, in this small space here, this round space here, in order to unlock this kind of a latch. So I hope that when you see it, it's clear what kind of a lock, so to say, you have to undo. And you just put the pin in there and snap it open. I'm going to use my tweezers. It is a bit stuck. It's very sticky. It is very, very sticky. Work gently, gently, gently. Okay, now it is not sticky anymore. It is unstuck. Finally, I can take the battery off. And by the way, this was a Panasonic to start with. Take the new battery with my fingers, put it back in, and then clip it back. I hope you've heard the clip. So when you put the latch or lock back on, it clicks. I hope you've heard it. Now, as I was doing this operation, now you can see that the watch is back in its original position. The O-ring jumped off, so I'm gonna have to put it back, which is what I was afraid of doing. This one still has silicone grease visible all around it, so I'm just going to try and be very careful putting it back in its original position. And then the message here says, after battery replacement, contact AC with minus using tweezers. AC is here. Hope you can see it, this hole here. The minus sign is right here, and next to the minus sign there's a little dot. AC plus minus sign. Let's hope it's working correctly. Now with the watch in its original position, let me grab back the rubber cover, and you see that there's a hole in here which corresponds to the spring that I was afraid might fall out. Let's put the back of the case in its original position without exerting too much force, of course. And then let's screw the screws back on. So you tighten the screw, but you don't over tighten, of course, that's common sense. And after all 4 screws are tightened, I check to see if they're tight enough. Yeah, these are tight enough, but not over tight. They're not loose. Okay, it should be good to go. Let's turn the watch to see if I've done any damage. No, it's Friday the 1st of January and it's 12:04. So the operation of closing the back of the watch took me 4 minutes. Now I will have to set the time, but this is a topic for another video. And I'll see you on the next of What You Don't Need.